Am I the asshole for charging my friend $800 after she left me 4 hours from home? Ooh, lovelies. It looks like we've got a bit of drama and maybe even a little bit of karma. Let's just jump into it, shall we? This is by user werminthewalls, subreddit, Am I the Asshole? This was done April 13, 2026, so this is more on the recent side. All right. Becky, 31 female, and I, 31 female, have been best friends for 20 years. In high school, we became close friends with Ryan and Daniel, and the four of us did everything together. Becky has always been fixated on Ryan. If he liked a girl, she would tear her apart or make passive-aggressive comments until it was uncomfortable. When he had girlfriends, she would openly criticize them and act like they weren't good enough for him. Oh, God. Wow, she sounds fun. Eventually, she started doing the same thing to me. She would make comments to downplay my relationship with Ryan or subtly compare us, like she needed to prove she mattered more. It felt like a competition for no reason, but I ignored it for years. Fast forward to Ryan's wedding last month. Becky and I drove together and shared a hotel. The passive-aggressive comments started up again. She said, I would not even be at the wedding if it were not for her. Even saying things like that in front of other people. Wow, she sounds like a great person to be around. Ugh. Later, in the hotel, she complained that Ryan didn't spend enough time with her. She actually said, sorry to you and Daniel, but he should at least want to spend some time with me. After years of this, I snapped and said, what a weird thing to say out loud. She immediately escalated and said, oh, what? You really think that Ryan and I aren't better friends? And brought up the fact that he asked her to help design the engagement ring. I said, I don't care who's closer, but it's weird that you care this much. It's not our fault that you're in love with him. She stormed out, and instead of coming back, she drove off and left me stranded 4 hours away with no way to get back. The next morning, I couldn't rent a car because I only had a debit card. So my only option was a same-day flight back to where I live across the country, which cost $800. I sent her an angry text and a Venmo request. She hasn't responded, and we haven't spoken in a month. I'll admit saying she's in love with him was harsh, and the text I sent after was not my best moment. We're supposed to talk tomorrow. Am I the asshole? What a garbage... Okay. Why would you surround yourself with someone who actively puts you down? She sounds like a horribly toxic, jealous witch with a B that, honestly, you'd probably be better off without her. Like the little snide comments coming at you, little bits here and there, trying to compare you, and then like cutting you down? No. That is a horrible person to be around, and just, get rid of her. I don't care if you've been friends for 20 years. You could have been friends with the wrong person for 20 years. All right. Overall verdict was not the a-hole. Top comment. Not the asshole. Ditching your friend without any way home is a safety issue. You had every right to be upset, especially when that came with a $800 plane ticket. I wouldn't say she's a friend anymore. Okay, here's a dissenting comment. Okay. Everyone sucks here. She's the primary asshole for ditching you and leaving you to find your way home. But you are still an asshole for expecting you to pay her back for how you had to get home. It's not her fault you didn't bring a credit card and couldn't rent a car. You are a full-grown adult and you chose to run your mouth. Not saying I wouldn't have done any differently in the moment. And that can come with consequences, one of which is having to find your own way home when you alienate your ride. Being an adult is always being prepared for emergencies. $800 is a lot of money, but it is a small price to pay for a major life lesson. It's money well spent to learn for sure she is not your friend, and you can move away without any guilt. She sounds exhausting anyway. I mean, yeah, but still, what a bitch. Another controversial comment. Everyone sucks here. Obviously, your friend is way out of line, but you know that, and you chose to poke the bear anyway. What did you think would happen? She's in love with a guy, and she's at his wedding. The ultimate event to tell her it isn't being reciprocated. She sucks for being an insufferable asshole, and you suck for being a short-sighted fool. Okay, that one, I can kind of see it. Everyone sucks here, comment number 2. Obviously, she sucks, and you're probably right. She could be in love with Ryan. His wedding day is most likely a hard time for her. And while that's no excuse for her antics, you should have been able to anticipate her behavior might escalate. You were only reacting to her rude nonsense, and I think she had it coming. But you were still very unkind. It's best not to mess with your ride home. If you are mean to somebody, they can stand you up, and they don't need to pay for your transport. It doesn't matter too much who started it. Next time, carpool with someone you're actually friends with. All right, update. 9 days later. I want to address some common questions/comments first. 4 hours versus across the country. I'm in the U.S., and I flew from the West Coast to the East Coast. We wanted extra time together since we don't see each other very often. So I flew into my hometown, about 4 hours from the wedding venue, instead of somewhere closer. This sounds like teenage drama. Totally fair. I think that's part of why I snapped. It felt like, are we really still doing this at 30? It's also a sign I should have addressed this sooner. Rental car issue. I was told I couldn't use a debit card unless I had a license from that state. Otherwise, it had to be a credit card. No credit card. I had debt in my early 20s, which is long since paid off, but I've avoided credit cards since. This situation made me realize I should have one for emergencies. Why not take a bus or train? I looked into it. Neither would have gotten me back in time for my return flight. A train home would have taken almost 3 days and cost about the same. My options were flying out of the closest airport or trying to get back to my original airport 4 hours away. Either way, I needed a same-day flight. The Venmo request. I sent it out of anger. I told her later I don't expect her to pay me back. And now for the update. Okay. We had a call and it wasn't productive. I apologized for what I said and that it was below the belt, especially with the "in love with Ryan" comment. I acknowledged it was hurtful and told her I wouldn't say things like that again. I also apologized for the text and Venmo request, explained that they came from anger, and made it clear I didn't expect her to pay me back. I explained that her comments have been a long-standing pattern that I have never addressed but should have. When I brought up being left stranded, she didn't acknowledge it at all and became defensive. She started crying and asked if we could, quote, just go back to how things were. And I told her I didn't think that was possible. After the call, I realized this isn't something we can come back from. I'm willing to work through a lot, especially when I have a role in things, but the lack of remorse or even acknowledgement for leaving me stranded made things clear. As many have said, this hasn't been a real friendship for a while. It hasn't always been like this, but over time, the dynamic had shifted in ways that I kept overlooking or brushing off instead of addressing. I think I held on to it because of the history. During the month we didn't talk, I actually felt at peace, which says a lot. I feel like this OP is holding on to this friendship because of that sunk cost fallacy. It's like, I've been friends with her for so long that I might as well just keep being friends with her. I mean, I've been friends with her for 20 years. Yeah, you could have been friends with a total a-hole for 20 years, and said a-hole has not gotten any better in said 20 years and has actually gotten worse. Like, I feel like you're the company that you keep. So if you keep an asshole around you or someone that keeps tearing you down, you yourself will start to kind of meet that, I guess, a lowered expectation. If you have people around you that lift you up, encourage you, and, are very realistic with you and are not scared to come to you and say, hey, your behavior is a little bit, XYZ, can we work on this? Or I'm uncomfortable with this behavior. That type of friendship, I think, is wonderful to have because it means that you are more open with your communication and not just friendship. This could be a relationship as well. The fact that if you have open communication, you feel comfortable enough to say, hey, I have a problem with how you're speaking to me. I would appreciate it if you maybe didn't put me down so much or, whatever the problem is. If it's a real friend, they could have been like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that this was bugging you so much. I was just kind of messing with you, but thank you for telling me, and I'll cut that behavior out right now. And if I don't, please remind me. I'm going to do my best to reduce that behavior for you. And not just for you, but maybe for everyone else around us. But this person? Garbage. Trash. Just, ugh. Anyway, let me go back to this. I ran off on my own little tangent there. I realized that not dealing with her behavior earlier probably contributed to it becoming a more explosive conflict than it could have been if I had addressed it sooner. I appreciate the honest feedback, and I'm still sad about letting go of a friendship that I cared about, but I know it'll be okay. All right, here we go. Some comments here. Top comment. The fact that she completely dismissed leaving you stranded, plus cost you $800 unexpected dollars, and continued to cry about her hurt feelings shows that this person is massively immature and incapable of being friends to anyone. She's not even a true friend to Ryan, who she's clearly obsessed with. If she was his friend, she wouldn't be trying to sabotage his relationship and now marriage. She'd want him to be happy. She sounds like a narcissist who isn't living in reality. While you should have addressed it sooner, at least you learn from the experience and you're now better off. Yeah, I was kind of getting narcissist vibes. Like, maybe she's trying to be the victim. Even though, yes, I understand what the OP said was harsh. But the thing is, leaving OP completely stranded and then boo-hoo crying saying that she's a victim and she wants everything to go back to normal. No, you are the one who changed the dynamic. Like, you can't go and stab OP in the back and be like, oh, ignore the bleeding wound on your back. Can we just go back to being friends? I know that you're currently dripping blood down your back. Yeah, ignore that. It's okay. We'll just go back to being friends, right? No. This OP, I think it's the sunk cost fallacy, where she was too scared to let go of a friendship that honestly should have been let go of a really long time ago. Next comment. OP, please tell Ryan about her behavior and the comments that she's been making. She could be pretending to be a very good friend to his face while talking crap about the people he loves behind his back. Please tell him. Comment 3. It's always sad to end a friendship, but sometimes they turn toxic and have run their course. At that point, it's best and healthiest to just let go. So my sympathies and congratulations. Next comment. The hardest part of growing up is realizing that not all friendships last into adulthood. That is so true. I've had friendships that I never expected to lose. And unfortunately, as we age, we're not the same as where we are, back in middle school and high school or even in college. So yeah, sometimes you do outgrow those friendships, and it sucks because this was someone these were people that you had spent a lot of time with in your formative years. And then all of a sudden they're either one, they're suddenly gone, or two, either you slowly backed away or they slowly backed away. And you do feel that hole from losing those friends. But at the same time, it might have been best to go ahead and let go for both you and for them, or, one person or whatever. But what do you guys think? Have you ever outgrew a friend, and how did that feel? Did you find new friends to replace them? Do you feel like the OP was wrong for lashing out finally, or do you think the friend was wrong for acting the way that she did? Let me know down in the comments below, what would you have done in this situation? Would you have tried to salvage the friendship, or would you have just said it's time to let go? As always, thank you everyone for coming. You lovelies have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.